Good evening, everyone. Being 7:01, I'd like to call the meeting to order on Wednesday, October the 11th, 2017, for the Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School. First order is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Move the flag. Oh, you moved it back? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a public comment. Is anybody here that wishes to discuss something in the public comment that's not on the agenda? None being seen.
Mr. Chairman,
We'll move on to approval of the minutes, September 13th. Mr. Tucker.
I move the approval of the minutes of September 13th, minutes of the regular meeting.
Second.
Are there any?
I abstain.
Abstain. Are there any deletions, omissions? None being heard. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions?
I'm sorry I missed the meeting, first one in 5 years.
All right,
Don't let it happen again.
thank you. B, Treasurer's Report. Mr. Lusage.
Move to accept.
Second?
Any questions on the Treasurer's Report? I have one. Let's see here. Yeah. On the Treasurer's Report, I noticed that on the stabilization fund, what kind of an account is that?
I believe it's in a certificate, or part of it's in a certificate of deposit.
That's why it's at 3 times the interest rate and everything else?
I'm looking,
That was with the
Yeah, that's the Institution for
Yeah,
Savings. the
so
new-
it's
the new account.
1.49%.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that it is, I think that's in a certificate at 1.25% or something like
It
that.
says 1.49.
Okay, then I think she got a higher rate, yes.
Good, that's good. Is that like, how long is that? Like it's-
It might be 2 years.
Yeah, oh, good. Okay. Any other questions or comments on trade report? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous.
Asked that
Thank
question
you.
last week.
There's no old business. Excuse me. We now have reports and communications. First we have Brianna Jackson on the student report. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and all other school committee members. The Multicultural Club is busy planning events for the year. Their annual Coats for Kids drive will start up at Whittier right after Thanksgiving. They're also going to sell bracelets this month to encourage our community to enjoy diversity of our school. The bracelets say, "Everyone smiles" in the same language. Peer-to-Peer will be setting up a table at lunches in the coming week to sell pins and bracelets for cancer awareness. Chess Club had their first meeting with 9 students, and at their second meeting, their participation was doubled with 18 students. There are a variety of playing levels, and each student has been enjoying the strategies and fun. Student government is working on Spirit Week, which is the 16th to the 20th. Monday is Cancer Awareness Day, wear pink or purple. Tuesday is your favorite sports team day, and wear just anything to support your team. Wednesday is Whittier Pride Day, wear Whittier gear, show your school spirit by wearing Whittier colors, maroon and gold. Thursday is Spiffy Day, dress up for school. Friday is School Color Day for the pep rally. Freshmen are red, sophomores are green, juniors are blue, and seniors are black. The class color t-shirts are being sold at Whittier's End for $7. The Key Club has had a few meetings already, along with their first community service event, where 11 students attended. They're working on membership numbers and trying to get more students who love community service to join. The robotics team is well underway. They've begun the preparation and club meetings with their season getting started in January. This year there's a strong turnout and they're looking forward to competing at a high level again this year. Whittier's chorus is underway and rehearsing. A select group of 4 students are preparing for a performance of the Star Spangled Banner at the pep rally. This is a first-time appearance and they're looking forward to it. They're also rehearsing for a performance at the open house for our winter concert. The cross-country teams are doing well. They started off with some injuries but are getting stronger. On the boys' side, the team have a 7-0 mark, and the school record was beat last week with a time of 16:35, and it was also beat today with a time of 6:16. On the girls' side, they have a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. Girls varsity volleyball has seen a quality season so far due to the hard work of the athletes and coaches. They are now 7-3 and have their eyes on state and vocational tournament at the end of the regular season. The football team is off to a great start with a record of 3-2. They lost a thriller against Weston 2 weeks ago and look to bounce back this game. With the game this Friday against Essex Tech. The game will be at 4. This team is looking forward to a win and a chance to reach the playoffs again this year. The boys soccer team has battled in every game and they've played this year. Their toughness shows with their 4-4 record. Halfway through the season, they're excited to finish the rest. They hope to close the season off to a high note. The team has a big match Friday against the rival Shawsheen Tech here at Whittier. The girls soccer team has played some tough competitions also, and they've have competed in every game so far with a record of 4-3-2. The girls seem to be in great shape for a playoff run. They hope to get the playoff berth and continue their strong season. There are currently 36 girls in the program. The team is wearing pink socks to support breast cancer awareness for the month of October.
Thank you. Very good report. I understand that the boys cross-country team, one of the boys broke the school record.
Again, yeah.
6:16.
Hmm? So that's great.
At next month's meeting, do you think you could bring one of those bracelets about the smile?
Yeah.
I would love to buy one of those.
Sure.
That'd be great, thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you again. Now we have the superintendent's report. Ms. Lynch.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Tonight before you, I have personnel actions for informational purposes. I have the hire of a guidance counselor, a library aide, articulation agreement coordinators, after-school SAT help, portfolio liaison for the 17-18 school year, evening school instructors, JV cheerleading coach, event ticket collectors. I also have the resignation of a bus route driver, a library aide, and an electrical instructor at the end of this school year. Budget update, there is no budget update at this time. MCAS update, MCAS scores will be released the week of October 16th, and score reports will arrive on October 24th. Whittier will offer a free MCAS after-school program to those students needing to take the November retest on Mondays and Thursdays from October 29th to November 13th. The ELA November retest will be administered November 8th, 9th, and 14th, and the math retest will be administered November 15th and 16th. On Thursday, September 14th, we hosted a ribbon cutting ceremony for our newly renovated machine shop. I've asked Mr. Porcelli to show a video that was released by the governor's office. So.
Look, I just want to say how much we appreciate the opportunity to be up here today. We're very excited about the advanced manufacturing program that you guys put together and we helped pay for. Really nice to come out and spend a little time making some noise on behalf of the Commonwealth and on behalf of our administration. Hey, good luck. Thank you. First of all, congratulations to Whittier. This was a competitive bid. How many kids in the program?
25 right now. We're hoping this is going to really get herb appeal is going to change that. I'm fairly sure of that. Newer equipment, better looking shop.
Partnering with local businesses and employers, the opportunity to make the case that if they could get some assistance from us They could either expand an existing program or upgrade an existing program or start a program that they knew would be able to help kids as they work their way through it, graduate, go to work, and live a great life here in the Commonwealth. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
So it was a really fun day. I can't watch that video and not, is that weird? The kids had a great time, and every student was able to see the governor come to Whittier Tech, so I was really happy about that. On Wednesday, November 20th, I attended the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors meeting. On Wednesday, September 27th, I attended the MARVA Workforce Development Panel meeting at the State House. This meeting was for employers, education leaders, and legislators discussing how Massachusetts needs to have a skilled labor market and workforce, and how that can be accomplished. On Thursday, September 28th, I attended the Haverhill YWCA Tribute to Women Nominees Reception breakfast. I want to thank Ms. Elaine Kefkis for attending that with me. On Friday, September 29th, I attended the North Shore Superintendent Roundtable. At this meeting, we discussed MCAS 2.0 and the challenges that will be coming with that, and the new accountability system that will be used K through 8. On Monday, October 2nd through Thursday, October 5th, we had our NEASC decennial visit. I was asked by a couple of members of the committee to show the video that we showed on our dinner. So I want to thank Rich Pacelli and Katie Parsons and ask Mr. Pacelli to play that video.
Hi, my name is Katie Parsons, Chair of the School and Community Profile Committee. I'd like to welcome you to Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School, home of the Wildcats. Before we go into the building, let's take a look at our sending communities. Geographically, the school is located in the northwest section of the district, with most of the sending communities lying to the south and east of the district. We are approximately located 1 mile from the New Hampshire border and close to Route 495. Communities as distant and diverse as Ipswich, which is approximately 19 miles away, Newburyport, and the Bradford section of Haverhill mark the perimeter of the school's area of coverage. We are made up of 11 communities, 3 cities, and 8 towns. The cities, which are Haverhill, making up 705 students in our population and close to 70% of our budget, Amesbury, and Newburyport. The towns are Salisbury, Merrimack, West Newbury, Groveland, Georgetown, Ipswich, Rowley, and Newbury. Of the 153,733 people within our sending district, only 9,496 are high school age. There are 45 schools throughout our district, not including Whittier, which educate approximately 20,440 students. Whittier's student population is 1,254. The average number of families in the district who have an income below the poverty level is 3%. The approximate average of unemployment in the district for the last 3 years is 5.27%. The average unemployment rate throughout the district has decreased over the last 3 years. The general population has increased in all cities and towns in the last 10 years, and projections for the year 2020 indicate an upward figure for all the district communities. Most are employed as skilled or semi-skilled workers or count themselves among those employed by service industries. This regional characteristic of our population also affects choice of programs and Whittier's emphasis on a constant upgrading of vocational standards. The Whittier campus is located at 115 Amesbury Line Road, just around the corner from the birthplace of our namesake, John Greenleaf Whittier. The building has a footprint approximately 1/5 a mile long, made up of 3 floors on either side of a center core that houses many of our administrative offices. At Whittier, we care about the safety and comfort of all of our students, employees, and guests, from their security to their ability to access the building. Whittier employs a staff of security monitors, which is augmented by contracted officers on the nights and weekends. In addition, we have deployed a CCTV surveillance system with 65 cameras inside and outside of the building. Within the building, ramps and an elevator facilitate mobility of those with physical handicaps. Handicapped bathroom facilities are also provided. Likewise, ramps and curb cuts facilitate movement outside the building, and main entrance doors are handicapped accessible by electronic push-button controls. The state average for per pupil expenditure in 2015 was $14,936, whereas Whittier's spending was $18,273. In 2015, school funding was at the following levels: 50.18% from local taxation, 41.4% from state resources, 1.08% from federal resources, and 7.34% from other resources. Looking at our attendance rates, it's safe to say that both our students and staff want to be here. During the 2015-16 school year, the daily student attendance rate was 96.9%, with a tardiness rate of 2.2% and a dismissal rate of 2.2%. The daily teacher attendance was 94% for the same year. The ethnic, racial, and cultural composition of our students in the 2014-2015 school year were 78.3% white, 16.6% Hispanic, 2.4% non-Hispanic, 1.6% African American, 1% Asian, and a 0.1% Native American. Students spend their weeks alternating between technical programs and academic classes. There are 20 vocational areas served by 47 instructors who oversee the technical training of students in our district. There were 978 upperclassmen spread across 5 vocational clusters during the 2016-17 school year. In the construction cluster, there were 240 students, 40 females and 200 males. In the manufacturing cluster, there were 118 students, 13 females and 105 males. In the service cluster, there were 272 students, 240 females and 32 males. In technology, there were 141 students, 35 females and 106 males. And finally, in the transportation cluster, there were 60 students, 9 female and 51 male students. Students in good academic standing who have demonstrated the knowledge and skills associated with 2 full years, the equivalent of 8 terms, in their technical area, are eligible for cooperative employment. Whittier Tech offers a comprehensive cooperative education program that provides students with the employment opportunities within their technical field. Through a cooperative arrangement between the school and employers, students alternate their program of study with academic classes and paid employment. Students are evaluated weekly by their employer, and documentation of such is submitted to the Cooperative Education Coordinator. Employment opportunities are numerous within the Merrimack Valley. These opportunities vary from year to year, with the biggest demands being in healthcare, manufacturing, construction, and food service industries. There are 74 academic instructors overseeing the core and elective courses offered to Whittier students, with an average class size of 13.8 students. 93.63% of students pass all of their classes, with a 21.3% of students participating in advanced academic classes. Whittier's performance on the English, Mathematics, and Biology MCAS continues to show growth as all three subjects surpass the state average with proficient or advanced scores, 93, 80, and 77% respectively. The AccuPlacer exam has placed 45 students in the grade 12 college level Composition 101 class, which is taught in conjunction with Northern Essex Community College for the 2017-18 school year. Whittier Tech also offers electives during senior year in the form of art and music classes. Additionally, an annual play or musical and winter concert are held. The development of the school logos, the yearbook design and photography, and the Santa Parade float are all excellent examples of Whittier's focus on applied art. The post-secondary intentions for the class of 2016 were 35% attending a four-year college, 36.6% attending a community or junior college, 1% a business or technical college, and 0.6% listing other. The remaining 27% of the class reported that they would be going into the workforce or military. Prior to entering as freshmen, each student is administered a skills assessment in both mathematics and English. The results are used to identify students who are performing below grade level and may be at risk to succeed academically. These students are then provided with Title I services in math and/or reading, depending on the targeted areas of weakness. At the beginning of the school year, a home language survey and a free and reduced lunch form are sent home to determine if any students have English as their second language or to identify students with low socioeconomic status. Once determined, the students meet with the ELL teacher to determine if services are needed. In May 2016, the average daily participation in the free and reduced lunch program was 42.6% of our population, a total of 562 students. 492 students received free lunch and 70 students received reduced lunch prices. Whittier has developed ways to deal with family and student crises. An additional adjustment counselor was hired in 2016 in direct response to an increasing number of students who have a need for access to school counseling services. Over the past 3 years, the average number of students with special needs was approximately 300. Like any other school, Whittier has its share of discipline issues, but with the cooperative work of our assistant principals and the faculty and staff, we do our best to keep the students in instructional time. In the 2015-16 school year, there were 1,616 individual disciplinary referrals, of which 44 resulted in in-school suspensions and 33 resulted in out-of-school suspensions. Beyond the school day, Whittier Tech offers various supervised after-school activities. The clubs include chess, DECA, environmental, FIRST Robotics, Gay Straight Alliance, Interact, Key, Multicultural, National Technical Honor Society, Peer-to-Peer, Performing Arts, Ski, Skills USA, Student Government, and the United Nations. The sports offered are baseball, basketball, cheerleading, cross-country, football, golf, hockey, lacrosse, soccer, softball, track, volleyball, and wrestling. In addition to these activities, there are opportunities for students to get involved with organizations in the community, like the Salvation Army, the Boys and Girls Club, the Sons of Italy Marching Band, Scouts, DeMolay, and the YMCA YWCA. Each year, the school recognizes from the senior class the valedictorian, the salutatorian, and one outstanding student per vocational, technical, and academic department, as well as numerous awards for underclassmen. The school, along with local businesses and civic nonprofit organizations, hand out approximately 65 to 70 scholarships totaling more than $40,000 per year. This includes the local Kiwanis Club's recognition of Tradesperson of the Year, given to a graduating senior who is going into his or her chosen trade. The award of $1,000 is used to buy tools for the trade. In athletics, each sport recognizes a most valuable player, Most Improved, Unsung Hero, Team Leadership, and a Coaches Award. Many of the non-athletic extracurricular activities also recognize achievement and leadership on an annual basis. In addition, a Student of the Month is chosen each month based on teacher recommendations or nominations. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, that's our school and that's our community, and we'd like to say welcome.
Very easy
Welcome.
to do.
Welcome.
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 Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome, NESNC. We are so happy to have you here, and we hope you enjoy your visit.
That was great.
Did a nice job.
That was great.
So the visit was last week. They spent 4 days working through our academic and our vocational programs. They told us many commendations and gave us a few recommendations. So once I get the full report, I'll be able to share that with you. But I haven't received the full report as of yet. On Wednesday, October 4th, I attended the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce annual dinner meeting. In attendance was Governor Charlie Baker. I've been seeing him a lot lately. Yeah. On Tuesday, October 10th, I attended the MAVA officers meeting. We met with the acting commissioner, Jeff Wolfson, and other members of the Department of Education. We discussed the new innovation pathways in the early college programs that the department recently put in place and the application process for those programs. Yesterday, as you know, we had to dismiss the students early because of a water main break in Haverhill. I would like to thank everyone's quick response in evacuating the building, getting all the students home safely and efficiently. And today, I attended the Merrimack Valley Superintendent's Association meeting. We discussed the hiring of a new commissioner and the changes to the MCAS accountability system. Outside projects in Amesbury, the Carpentry is working on a display case for the town of Amesbury for their 350th anniversary. Merrimack, we constructed 2 park benches for the new playground. Raleigh, the culinary students went to the Raleigh Council on Aging Senior Center and provided a luncheon on September 21st. We donated 2 Adirondack chairs to the Merrimack Valley Hospice House auction that was held at the Black Swan in September. And that's all I have for you this evening.
Any question? I have one. Oh, go ahead.
I want to commend you when the governor came. I did come that day. I want to commend you, your staff, but most importantly, the students. Did a great job. Made him and his staff feel very comfortable. And not only that, everybody behaved great, and there was a lot of enthusiasm. And I want to commend you and your staff on that.
Thank you. It was a team effort.
Yes.
I should have called you today, Mr. Superintendent, but I have a couple quick questions. What is a articulation coordinator?
Articulation
I don't
coordinator.
want to put you on the spot.
No, you know what? It's a position that we've had for about 10 years, and I know it's a funny little name. But what that person does is they work with the colleges to make sure that some of the vocational programs receive college credit. So some of the vocational programs will receive college credit when they go to Northern Essex or UMass Lowell and other local state colleges and universities.
What is a portfolio liaison?
A portfolio liaison, that is the new initiative that we have this year, as far as making sure that students have an online record of their work from grades 9 through 12. So they'll have all of their academic work, they'll have all of their vocational work, 9 through 12, so when they walk out the door, they have a full portfolio of their entire work while they've been at Whittier Tech.
And one more, and like I said, I apologize. A librarian aide says up to 19 hours.
Yep.
And that was a part-time job over here.
Yep.
Is that 19 hours for the year?
No, 19 hours a week.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have a quick one. Excuse me. I noticed, like, on the new hires, or hires, we hired a guidance counselor. Since that is a budgeted item, when you hire somebody, do you try to stay within the budget or hire the best person regardless of the pay scale?
Well, I want to say
Or
we
both.
hire the best person.
best person. So if you have to make adjustments to the salary, budgeted salary, you do that. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me, there
Yes.
was one more. For a long time, we didn't have a coach for the cheerleading, and I'm happy to see that you found a junior varsity cheerleader as well. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll ask Beverly DeSalvo to come up, the vocational coordinator, to give an update on the vocational programs.
Good evening, Chairman LaBella, Superintendent Lynch, and members of the committee. It's nice to see everyone. I'm going to go over tonight. My name is Beverly DeSalvo. I'm the vocational coordinator and the vocational technical update. The accomplishments so far this year, you just saw the lovely video. Ms. Lynch stole my thunder. We were awarded the Workforce Skills Capital Grant for $475,000 for the machine technology, modernization of the department. Now it is state-of-the-art and upgraded over 15 pieces of equipment for the staff and the students and the evening school people as well downstairs. If you didn't get to see it personally, I hope that you make the time to go on down there. Engineering technology, in addition, is pending final approval. In addition, we were awarded a life science grant for $110,000 and also Project Lead the Way grant for $30,000 that will cover most of the professional development for the instructor in that department. New programs. So we're moving right along. We have placed a letter of intent for dental assisting. We are hoping to add that to our health occupations curriculum, so we will have health assisting, medical assisting, and dental assisting. And we applied for the Workforce Skills Capital Grant to renovate an area to make this an allied health center, and that will also help us with new equipment. Is there something wrong? Oh. Let me go back here. Is it on new programs? No, I clicked it. It's on here. I can't see that, so. Is it up there now, new programs? And continued initiatives, we are still exploring the opportunity to have an on-site daycare facility here at Whittier Tech. We're exploring some partnerships. The benefits would be, we have an early education and care program already in place. I would cut transportation costs because our students have to be bused out to various private and public daycare centers, that would cut down on the transportation costs, and it would also demonstrate commitment to supporting working families. And last but not least, co-op education. As of October 1st, 110 seniors are working in their trade, or 36% of the class. But as of today, 124 seniors are working, and we're up to 40% of the class already are out working in their trade areas.
These-
And that's all I have.
Are these full-time positions?
Full-time co-op positions,
Yeah,
yes.
so
The
this lasts the
students,
whole-
instead of going to their technical program, they will go out to work in their technical
I
program
mean, is
area.
it like, does it last the whole school year, or?
Yep. You will usually, a lot of the times, students become eligible for co-op fourth term of junior year, if they have had 6 terms in their trade. So a lot of these kids left last April, and then continue to work full-time throughout the summer, and then we review the file right as soon as school starts, and they continue their co-op employment.
What would limit that number for being higher than 40%?
What would limit that? Students in the program?
Yeah, for those
Carpentries.
that are eligible, excuse me.
Right.
You know, I
Like-
assume, are all of them that can work working, or do some choose not to work, I guess is the question.
Not many kids choose not to work. Some of them may be waiting a little bit until, I have a couple of kids waiting for cross-country to end or football to end, and then they'll go out, and then some of the kids that are already working, if they play basketball, may come back in. The big problem for kids these days is transportation. But I think 40% of the class is an amazing number. We should be over 50% by the time, the end of the school year.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Daycare, is this similar to the one that Northern Essex has? Or are you gonna bring your own and bring outside kids in, and you're gonna
Well,
watch them yourself?
This would keep us in line with some of the other top vocational schools in the state that have daycare programs, Shawshene, Assabet Valley, Worcester Tech, Lowell, Greater Lowell, to name a few. Would be for staff to be able to bring their children here and members of the community.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
And it would hopefully be just during the school year, on our schedule, and during our time
Because I
frame.
believe the Northern Essex one, they
That-
bring teachers from outside. Or
That's a privately run
That's what it is.
daycare through Little Sprouts, yes.
It's not gonna be the same.
No.
Thank you.
I have a
Please.
question about the numbers, how we said another, it said 40%. That 40%, I assume that some trade areas might be, maybe carpentry might be higher than engineering or something like that. So the areas where the numbers are lower, what can be done to increase those partnerships?
Well, what we do now is we have 6 co-op liaisons that work under my supervision. They meet with each department. They work with the students to find out who is looking for a co-op position, if they have transportation, what career area or pathway that they're looking for a position in. If we don't have a lead on a job, we make cold calls. Parents, technical teachers, community members, anyone is eligible to help us job develop in those areas, and we're usually very successful in finding students positions that want to work. My phone rings off the hook, and right now, like carpentry's already closed. I think we only have 1 or 2 kids still looking in plumbing, and that's more of a transportation issue other than, need.
And what was that percentage for the seniors last year?
I have that. Let's see. So last year, as of October 1st, 16, 144 seniors, or 42% of the class was out. And the year before, October 1st, 2015, 122 seniors, or 38% of the senior class was out working. So our numbers have been remaining consistently strong.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see that number go up.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
I just wanted to know what an allied health center was. I wasn't sure what you meant by that.
It would just be the name that we umbrella the health occupations program under. An Allied Health Center would house health occupations, health assisting, medical assisting, and dental assisting. And it would be under the umbrella of an Allied Health Center.
Okay. I was getting all excited, like, have a dentist nearby. Anyway, okay, got it. Okay, so it's just what you wanted to call the, thank you.
You said you were going after another grant to remodel something?
We are waiting to hear about approval for another workforce skills capital grant, just like we were. Off the top of my head, I think it was over $400,000 to renovate a space for this Health Occupations Allied Health Center, to bring that up to state-of-the-art and to also purchase the equipment for a dental assisting program.
I want to commend you and your staff, like I talked to the superintendent, her staff too, for a great job going after these grants. But right here, it's one of your accomplishments, or your team's accomplishments, and they say them right there, and I want to congratulate you.
Thank you, thank you. And Kelly Fay, our curriculum coordinator, does a great job working with us and securing these grants, so we have to always give her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You and your staff.
So, excuse me, so how would the daycare center operate?
I think we're in the planning stages
The
of
planning
that.
stage.
We're visiting other daycare facilities. We're looking at what partnerships we could have. So I would hesitate to say too much about where we're at in the process. We're
Okay.
just exploring at this point about the feasibility and what it might look like.
Sounds good. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Ms. Lowell?
Hi, I'm Ms. Lowell. I'm the Director of Pupil Personnel, and I'd like to welcome you all, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, and Superintendent Lynch. In your packet, you have received the district's October 1 census report, and I also included a comparison of the enrollment data to last year for your information, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for Ms. Lowell? Yes.
It's a very important document here, and I want to congratulate you for getting it out. I did see there's a big difference of kids that got accepted that didn't show up, total for the freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot, that's a big difference, unless I'm reading it wrong. You had 288 show up
Mm-hmm.
out of 400 plus that got accepted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think every year we kind of have to take a guess at how many are going to actually walk through the door and stay till October 1. So I think it's pretty consistent. Every year it's around 80%. We tend to run in that 70 to 80%. Yeah, yeah. So we have students who we know are applying to multiple schools, that's not their only choice all the time. But, yeah, it is a guesstimate every year of how many will actually enroll.
Well, it's hard for you to even.
Yeah. We just want everybody to know they can come.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, to go on with that, will we be seeking to fill some more freshman slots at mid-year?
Mhm.
Because we had
absolutely.
a higher anticipated number?
Yeah, and any of the students who were denied application in the first round, or maybe if they decided not to come, we open it up again at the mid-year, and those students can reapply, and we strongly encourage that.
Yes.
I think,
Oh, go ahead.
just to kind of piggyback on that, I've been working with Haverhill. They have about 25 students that are interested in applying mid-year. So I've been working with the high school principal over there to make sure that any student that is truly interested in a vocational technical education knows that there are opportunities midway through the freshman year.
I just want everybody to know that this does work, people in the district. Come November and December, as the superintendent just said, she's working with Haverhill. This does work, because I know a lot of kids that do apply, and, if they do the right thing and what was asked for them to do, they will get in here. And it's a very, very, very fair process that they have. And I want everybody to know that.
I got kind of a global question. Before the end of the last school year, we got a report. It was to me, it was very interesting about how the enrollment is declining in surrounding communities. I think Pentucket and Triton were the largest drop in enrollment. Do you feel that's going to affect us down the road?
Potentially it could, but our focus really is around access. We want everybody out there who's considering, thinking about, whatever, know that we are accessible to them, that we're a choice for them, and to reach them in any way that we can to help them see that we are here for them. We're really thrilled this year to have started our online application process, so now we know students can go right on our website and apply online and start the process, and we can reach out to them through that avenue. It's really all about access at this point. So as long as we know we can help students access us, then we should be in good stead for them in the future.
That's great. Any other questions? Yes, Dick.
For many years, we had school choice. We don't have to worry about that now. If a student wants to go to Whittier, all he has to do is go to school and behave and pass. And they all go together. And I want everybody in the community to know that they can still get in here as long as they do the right thing and go to school. And I commend the superintendent and the staff for allowing this. Not only that, for following through, which means a big, big thing for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? You're all set? Next on the agenda is the report of our principal, Mr. Leganis.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and rest of the school committee members. Our peer leadership program that we had talked about at the beginning is moving along. The first peer leadership meeting was scheduled for yesterday, but we rescheduled October 17th. Several students, our juniors, signed up for this program, are going through a training process with our advisors and becoming a mentor to freshmen, and they'll be ready to visit the homerooms, which is a very nice program that was brought in. The Above the Influence program is started. They started the program, started an essay contest, and soon we'll meet with Chucky Rosa from Chucky's Fight, and they'll talk to he will be talking to small groups of Whittier students about the negative influences of alcohol and drugs. And again, Whittier is still working in conjunction with Haverhill High with this project. Spirit Week, as you heard from Brianna, is next week on Monday, November 16th through the week, and we'll have the pep rally on that Friday. Hopefully weather will hold up for us so we can go outside. Each day a different theme, including Sports Day, Cancer Awareness, Whittier Colors Day, Spiffy Day, Class Color Day, and then of course the pep rally. There's going to be a friendly competition between classes that are planned and also the staff members, and some of the competitions will be a relay race, a tug of war, and basketball shooting. So it should be hopefully a fun day, and hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate with us. I just want to again thank the student government advisors, students, security staff, the entire staff for helping and planning this fun week. So we're looking forward to it. The guidance department tomorrow is hosting our college fair, and it's going to be in the gymnasium for our 11th and 12th graders. Also, and I know talking about open house, and I don't want to give Beverly a heart attack, but it's coming up pretty soon, November 5th, from 1 to 4. Invitations and preparation continuing for that. So that is November 5th. Whittier continues the commitment to safety of our students and staff through ongoing monitoring of school safety procedures and protocols. On September 28th, we had our first enhanced lockdown training, and we will continue doing these drills throughout the entire year.
Any questions for the principal?
Great job.
Thank you very much.
Everything seems to be above water.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the treasurer's report. Ms. Bug.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, members of the committee. I have a couple of things for you this evening. In your packet is the 5-year capital plan. Every month in October you get our capital plan, and it serves as a planning document, and it's updated each year. And some things change, some things get put on, some things get shifted out to future years, some things get moved up earlier depending upon the needs in the building. And we use it in developing the budget. As was Lynch, one of the things that I do want to point out in it, as Ms. Lynch mentioned at the last meeting, we had to change a major electrical cable in August over the summer. So under building maintenance, you will see that there is an amount for $85,000, and that's the amount that we will be planning for next summer as we replace the remaining of those electrical cables. They are original to the building, and after we had the issue with cable in August, we've spoken with Mr. Takezian and decided that we do need to replace those cables this summer, and so everything will be updated. Also in our capital planning, as you know, we submitted a third statement of interest, and we're hopefully, we continue to hope that we will get good news, and we should know that towards the end of the year. And obviously, if we get into the pipeline, some of the things that are listed on this capital plan will be taken care of through that statement of interest. But we still put them down here so that you are aware that they are out there and that they may need attention sooner rather than later. And always, when we look at the 5-year capital plan, we actively pursue alternate funding sources, and we apply for grants whenever possible to fund capital needs, as evidenced by what we got down in the machine tech shop. That was listed, many of those items were listed in the 5-year capital plan last year, but we paid for most of that equipment through the Mass Skills Capital Grant. And there's also a line item here under health occupations, and it's listed, but clearly if we are able to move forward with that program and get more grants, that would be taken care of. Hopefully, much of it would be taken care of in a grant that we would get. Are there any questions on the 5-year capital plan?
Yes.
Question. I noticed that machine technology has additional needs.
Yes.
So it's, I was just.
When
I
we
didn't
applied
notice
for the grant, we did put in a climate control system. If you went to the machine tech shop, you know that it's in the basement. There's not a lot of ventilation in there. We did apply for it in the grant, but it was not covered. Now that we've invested all that money and bought that equipment, we feel that we probably need to add some ventilation down there. We're hoping we'll get other funds. Obviously, if we get a building renovation, that would be covered in the building renovation, but we put that down because we want to make sure that we protect the money, the things that we have bought already.
So that's the next priority.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Can you give us an update of the buses?
The buses, okay. I figured you would ask about
Well,
that.
it's a
The
very
lease
expensive
ends
thing.
in February. We did very well with the mileage in the buses, and so I've spoken to Ms. Martin, the transportation coordinator, and this year we have 27 buses. 4 of them remain as spares. What we hope to do is put out a bid for a lease to lease 15 buses and maintain 12 buses, so that pretty much every 5 years we are getting new buses, so that no bus is more than 5 years old. We have asked the leasing company, because the lease ends in February, which is not the ideal time to change 10 buses, particularly with the weather and school being in session. I didn't negotiate that. I don't know why it was a February end date, but we've reached out to them to see if they may extend that lease until June. If they are not willing to do that, we'll come up with Plan B. We may have to get them a little bit early so we can do the changeover during the Christmas vacation, but we'll keep you updated on that.
But it is working, at least.
Yeah, the mileage has really worked out. We haven't even hit the mileage that we had originally planned for. And she does an excellent job in moving them around based on the mileage of the buses. She looks at what buses have what mileage.
You're also keeping your costs down.
We're keeping the cost down, and obviously for the Ipswich runs and the longer runs, we use the buses that we own to keep the mileage down. But that has worked very well for us, so we're probably going to lease more and own fewer.
And how's that work for the state reimbursing us?
The state has been reimbursing us. We submit all of that information. We submit it as an expense. We file it under our transportation costs, and it is included in what they reimburse us for.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Great job.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Under security, I see we leased a server, but we have security camera replacement program. It says 12 over 5 years.
We tend to replace about a dozen cameras every year.
What's every year? That
We
12 is
replace
per
them.
year?
One of the things we've done this year, though, is we've entered into a contract with a maintenance company, and part of the contract is that they will replace some of our cameras or repair some of our cameras, and we're more proactive about making sure that we get the replacements and the repairs that we need in a timely fashion.
So-
But we try to replace the ones that are the oldest every year. We do several of those.
So the life is only 5 years for these cameras?
Yeah, many of them are out in the elements, and they take a beating sometimes.
That's like $500,000
It's
in cameras.
expensive.
All right. Any other questions on the 5-year capital plan?
Well,
Yes.
Just to follow up on your camera, these would be all digital cameras that would have to have
I believe that
storage?
they are. Mr. Porcelli knows the lowdown on the cameras a lot better than I do, but I know that as we replace cameras, they seem to be a lot better. There are some that are very old, and when you look at them, they're black and white and fuzzy, and they're not very clear, and the new ones are much, much better. So I think they are digital, yes.
Yeah. I saw on the video, we have 65 cameras.
We have a lot. So
we're
if you
replacing 12 a year.
If you replace 12 a year, you're turning them over every 5 years, which is about their useful life,
I mean, I just think that's a little,
You still have to have a preventive maintenance
oh, yeah,
program.
oh, I'm sure.
We wouldn't replace a camera that's working
No,
and
no, I'm
functioning.
just saying that's,
so You know, I think that's a ballpark is what we're saying is maybe 12 a year. But obviously, if a camera is in fine working condition, and we wouldn't replace that camera just to buy a new one. So,
Well, no, I'm not questioning, I'm just saying, it's a,
And we repair them, too. A lot of times they can be repaired.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's a lot of money. To be honest with you, I think that's a pretty fair analysis of it.
whatever. Any other questions?
Do our students repair the cameras?
I'm sorry?
Do our students repair the cameras?
Yeah.
I'm still curious about the storing of the data that comes through these digital cameras. If you had something you wanted to retrieve from 12 hours ago or overnight, if you saw some vandalism or something, I mean, that's a whole area of storing this data, accessing it. That's,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the answer, but doesn't sound cheap.
yeah, that's where the servers come in. So we have servers that we were able to go back and look at things over a couple-week period. There's a lot of data with 65 cameras, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm
That's
sure,
what I mean, yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of data.
Thank you.
But we need it in today's environment.
Unfortunately.
Yes, continue, please.
Okay. And then it's that time of year again. The first quarter of the year has ended, and in your packet, you have the variance analysis from July through September. And as you are used to seeing, the accounts that are over are in yellow. And the accounts that would have money that could offset them are in green. And we do have more accounts that are in green than accounts in yellow. Why our budget's over at this time of year? Well, a lot of times we don't necessarily know enrollment when we're doing the budget. We are budgeting from last December, and we don't always know the final numbers in many of the courses. So some things are needed and other things are not needed. But what I have done is I have requested a transfer, and there are 3 things that I would like to accomplish with the transfer. First of all, most of the salary overages in the variance report are simply due to contractual increases for teachers who have earned enough credits to advance them horizontally on the salary scale. So the transfer request will clean up those salary accounts and balance them. It will also consolidate the legal and negotiator budgets. One of the questions that I hear from the school committee all the time is, why do we have $10,000 in legal and $10,000 in negotiator, and we never use negotiator? So I'll consolidate those, and I think I've mentioned that we'll just budget going forward in one legal line, because it doesn't seem that we use the other line very much. And then thirdly, we have always budgeted the early childhood program as part of Health OC, and Ms. Lynch asked me last year to separate early childhood as its own program out from Health OC, but when we budgeted, we put it all under the Health OC program, and the final amounts on the transfer will allocate the early childhood portions of the Health OC budget to early childhood, so that it is now separate from Health OC. And so I'm requesting your approval for that transfer and any questions you may have.
Any questions? I got one quick question.
Well, Mr.
Oh,
Chairman.
go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we transfer the requested amount of $327,610 per memo of October 11th.
Second.
Okay.
I got one quick question.
Sure.
Under salaries, like under plumbing and heating, we encumbered, we're only into October.
Yes.
We encumbered 185,000 where the budget was 147.
Yes. A position was added. A position was not used in auto tech, and it was instead needed in plumbing. So it was redeployed, and that's part of the transfer.
All right, so these are, so most of these salaries are changes in positions. They're not changes in people.
They're not changes in people. They come from one of 3 places. If you don't need someone in one area and you need someone in another, it's change in redeployment. Or you earn credits on the scale over the summer, and we don't know who's going to earn credits. And the other changes are attrition. When you hire a new person, most of the time they come in less, but on occasion someone does come in more than the person that left. So those are the 3 reasons that the budgets would change.
Sounds good to me.
I do have a question on the 5-year plan. I don't know how this got by me.
There's a motion on the floor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's good. Anything else on the variance report? Transfer. None being all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. You want to
I
go back to the
apologize on
5-year?
this 5-year, and I don't know how this went by me. This turf for 900,000. I know that's Charlie's pet peeve. Is that a wish list for next year? Is that a real number?
Well, it's about a real number, and it's a,
You got it in twice, so it's $1 million.
well, no, one is for the football fields and one is for the softball fields. It is something that Ms. Lynch and Mr. Takiji and I have talked about.
I don't have a problem
need
with
to
it.
do
I'm
it.
just curious why the 900
Oh,
twice.
2 different fields.
Thank you very much.
900,000 for one
Any more
field.
questions? Thank you very much.
Did they sign it with gold?
Next on the agenda is the November annual agenda item. We're going to have the review of curriculum. We're getting ready this winter to enter in some collective bargaining. I think it's the teachers and some administrators, yep, and the cafeteria workers.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we're going to have a busy winter, hopefully. Hopefully not, maybe. And review and update of our technology plan. That's going to be in the November meeting. And we have a request from the superintendent to change the date of the next meeting because she is going to be at a very important conference, I believe.
I'd like to be.
Yeah. So I think we should entertain a new date. Which date would you like?
February 7th?
February 7th.
Yeah, not the next meeting, it's the February one, right?
We're in February, yeah, but we have to do it now.
Right.
So in February,
What night is that on?
Wednesday.
I make a motion to accept it, if anybody else has to.
What is it, the week after or the week before?
week before,
So what's the date?
7th,
February 7th.
So it's going from the 14th to the 7th.
right. Anybody, is that okay with most people?
Yeah?
So we need a motion for that.
I make a motion.
Oh, you made
Second.
it, the second? Okay.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Unanimous. So it'll be February the 7th. Okay. Under subcommittee reports, first up is the executive. We have not met. We are planning to meet in November, hopefully, to discuss proposals, to get a feeling from the executive board that we can bring to the total school committee on the bargaining situations, what we're looking for. The superintendent has some language changes she would like, so there's some other issues we're gonna be talking about. So we're gonna get a feeling from the executive board, and then once we feel that we have all that lined out, then we'll bring it to the full school committee, probably also in executive session to get everybody's input. So when the subcommittee, the salary negotiations committee meets with the various entities, we'll have a firm direction.
I've asked the president of the union for a letter with the intent to begin bargaining. I've yet to receive that. so.
Okay. All right, and then we'll have the review and update of the technology plan. We'll have,
Williams?
yep. And we changed the date on that. Okay, anything else? So I'm hoping to have that meeting before the regular school board meeting. But people on the executive board will be meeting there, yeah. But anybody is eligible to attend, give their input. All right. Instructional personnel, Dr. Testaverde.
The Instructional Personnel Committee met on Tuesday, September 19th. We had a full attendance, and we were presented with the updates in the curriculum. Kelly Fay talked about the advanced placement classes. Katrina Jensen discussed the changes in the math programs and college-ready and career-ready assistance. We also discussed review of course sequence and we discussed the MCAS biology test and sequencing of the science classes in the curriculum. All of this, it was a very informative meeting, and we, as a committee, felt that there were positive changes being made to update us and keep us in line with the things that are happening across the state and across the country. And so this full committee will receive their reports in the November meeting.
Okay. And the minutes are in your packet to review. Number 3, Mr. Tucker, plan operations.
Plan operations toward the new machine shop area. Mr. Lesage carried the ball on that. I think that we don't need a meeting, but except maybe at 6:45 before the next regular school committee meeting, I believe for organizational purposes. Because we skipped that last month.
Okay.
So 6:45 should be all right.
Thank you. Salary and negotiations, Mr. Murphy.
We have not met. I know there's going to be a meeting coming up. We'll probably know after we get that letter of intent from the union.
Okay. Mr. Early's not here on the policy.
Mr. Early is not here. Alana and I will kind of do our best to keep you updated. The policy subcommittee met on the 13th of September. We had numerous policies. As you can see, I think we had 30-something odd policies. We were well prepped by Ms. Lynch and by Lisa. They had worked very hard to show us the differences and the changes and what might be appropriate. And I was very pleased that we got through 31 policies. I will say that this is going to be an ongoing process over this and probably the next few months of this school year, and we will be doing these in large quantities of 25 to 30 per visit, because this is a year that MASC is redoing all of the policies, and we need to be updated and we need to be current with what is happening. The policy subcommittee recommended that we accept the minor changes that were made, and the changes were primarily verbiage. There was no significant changes made in recommendations in regard to actual policy and procedures, etc. We have provided you with a copy of all of them, and we are recommending that you accept these as a first reading. The procedures will be first reading, and then at the next meeting, we will have second reading, and if anybody has any questions or concerns about the policies, we are open for discussion. And if none, then tonight would be the vote for first meeting, and in November would be the vote for second meeting. Alana, did I miss anything?
No, I just want to clarify that the ones that we're doing the first reading on are the ones that we actually made some changes to. The rest of the 31 policies were left as is, or we just accepted MASC's version. We kept our own, but these are the ones that we changed, and I believe you have the policies to look at and should be able to know what was changed, so it's fairly simple. Wasn't anything earth-shattering that we would need to discuss.
Yes, Lisa.
I did read over these, and I did have some questions, and I apologize for not being able to attend that meeting that night, because I am on the policy subcommittee. So on policy JLCB, which is the inoculation of students.
Yes.
No page
Where is
numbers.
that one? I know.
Inoculations, yes.
Okay.
JLCB.
So, JLCB. The last line states, The only exception to these requirements will be made on receipt of a written statement from a doctor that immunization will not be in the best interest of the child or by the student's parent or guardian, stating that vaccination or immunization is contrary to the religious beliefs of the student or parent. So to me, and I know this is kind of up for interpretation, but when I read that, it's telling me that the only time a child will be exempt is because of religious beliefs.
Or by their medical physician because they could be allergic, or.
But I'd like to see that here, because I'm interpreting it differently, and and there might be a medical reason why a child cannot, they might be immune compromised or whatever.
Well, I think it said here from the doctor that immunization would not be in the best interest of the child. I think.
But then it goes on to say, stating that vaccination is contrary to religious beliefs. So it doesn't.
No, there's two different things. Yes.
Because I'm not reading, I mean, I think you can read it one way and you can read it the other way.
No.
No, we all,
Well, it says stating that the vaccination.
Make the second word, the second last.
I do see the word or.
It's by or.
Yeah, because I'm not reading it that way. I mean, I can read it that way, but I can also read it the other way.
Just so you're aware, when the MASC sends us policies, it does go through attorneys, so attorneys have reviewed every one of these policies. Long and DePietro, they do review every policy to make sure. And, you can see the legal reference, Mass General Law down there, that, we're following the law.
Okay.
Yeah, another question?
Well, I just wanted to
Go ahead.
continue on to this. I would think that Massachusetts state law wants all children to be immunized, with the exception of a doctor's note, health note, or a parent just writing a note. That's what
I can
that's
tell
what
you
I
that
think.
if there was ever a situation where we did not receive an immunization record, the nurses would be very thorough in working through the process with the Department of Health, with everybody, to make sure that, we've got that covered, because nobody wants anyone to get sick because somebody missed an immunization. But that's something that we have 2 nurses that would definitely work through that process.
But also, I think it's also clear that the parent's request is on religious beliefs only. It's not just, I don't want my child to be vaccinated. It says that is contrary to the religious beliefs of the student, which is, we have to deal with the laws and discrimination and religious freedom.
Right.
do you not have the or in there?
Isn't that kind of a,
No, I have it. It just depends how you read
I
it.
mean, it has to be a recognized religion?
That's a big gray area.
That's a
there.
big gray area.
And I think, as Maureen has said.
We would then go through the
We'd
routine.
have to go through the
Yeah.
process. I mean, it's similar to when maybe we shouldn't get into this, but we have to respect a Jehovah's Witness youngster who doesn't get up and salute the flag or have the birthday party or whatever
Right.
the case may be. It's the same kind of thing, except this one
But I think
has
the key-
implications on other people in the building.
But I think the key is for us, that if somebody did have a reasoning for either one, we would have to document that and go through all the legalities.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
I also had a question.
Yep, go ahead.
On policy BBA, school committee powers and duties.
What is that, BBA?
BBA, it's 2 after the one I just mentioned. And under personnel matters, it said, the school committee shall appoint upon the recommendation of the superintendent, assistant, associate, deputy superintendents, school business administrator, special education administrator, school physician, school nurses, supervisor of attendance. Such positions shall not report directly to the school committee. I don't read principal in that list. Is principal fall under one of those other, maybe like a school, I don't understand.
The school committee does not appoint the principal.
No, but, okay. So we do have school nurses, but not the principal?
Yes.
That's a state law.
Which one were you looking
EBA.
Nurses used to have a strong union.
Some of these were just forgotten about when they wrote the
really.
law.
That's the
period.
Education Reform
Yeah.
Act,
It
1994,
had
yeah.
really nothing to do with the position, they just forgot it.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You have another one there, Miss?
No, that's all,
That's it?
thank you, yeah.
Miss True?
Question about, DJE on bidding.
Yep.
DJE, I'm sorry, there's no page numbers to refer to that I saw? Yeah, so, okay, let's see. Not that is your way, DJE, it says, but you might be able to find it. I just was wondering, we had reviewed this last year about how our policy was stating that it was $35,000, but the MASC was stating 50, and so does the committee feel comfortable upping it, upping the amount to 50 now? Is that that's what MASC?
It's a new Mass General law that
Oh,
came
there
out
you go.
this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, thank you, all right, and,
It solves that one.
that solves that one, yeah. The policy, the safety policy, EB, I think it is, I was just wondering, I looked at our safety policy, and it looks so comprehensive, and the MASC policy is very briefly stated, but is there something in the legalities of that just is better? Is it, or is
What
it?
policy number is, what is that?
Sorry, EB,
EB.
There's no EB.
there isn't? No.
I don't believe we made a change on that.
There's a safety policy? Okay, no, so.
It's not in here.
What?
It's not in the packet,
Oh,
so there was no
maybe
change.
I read it and it didn't have a change. Okay, that's probably what it was. Okay, thank you. Sorry, done.
Any other questions on the first reading? Was there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Yes, sir?
To accept as a first reading. I will read these letters. ACE, ADC, BBBA, BBBB, BDE, BEDA, BEDB, DJE, FA, GBEA, IHAMA, JLCB, KDB, BBA, BHE, BIA, BIBA, CB, CBD, CBI, CE, CH, CHA, CHC.
And I will second that.
Any further discussion?
Want me to list them?
Well, I think we have to read them all into the record. He likes to do. Any other, okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. Okay, moving on the new business. Anybody want any new business that, for the school committee to entertain for next meetings? Yes.
Could I just ask, Lisa, was MASC notified that Dave Irving was going to be our delegate?
It was Dave and.
Not Dave.
It was, Charlie was the alternate, whoever was it Dave? Whoever it was, yes. They weren't notified.
Okay.
That you were the alternate.
Maybe they just send those letters out to everybody, because I got one and it said you didn't.
Yeah.
A delegate has to be, yeah, okay. We're good then, right?
Under new business, I have asked the superintendent if at the next meeting, she could make it this meeting, that the treasurer give us a report. Basically, there are a lot of new members here, and each month we we vote on the treasurer's report. I thought it might be appropriate for the new members and some of ourselves. If you look at the treasury report, there's money in all sorts of different accounts, there's disbursements, all that, just to review kind of the treasury report, what the money in this account is for, what the money in that, how we take money out of this account to do the payroll. I think it would be informational, to all the people, because every week, we say, All in favor, yes, and that's the end of it. And, you know, we're dealing with millions of dollars every month, so I think it'd just be kind of a, you know, welcome by, you know, the new members and those that want to just, you know, if anybody has any questions they want to bring up, be a time to bring it up. Okay?
Use your power and make it so.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So now, we have no need for executive session tonight. The next meeting is going to be on November the 8th, right here at 7 PM, regular scheduled meeting. And we need a motion for
Make a
adjournment.
motion to adjourn.
Mr. Earls, second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, unanimous.
I,